Hello and welcome to AAA Reviews. I'm Alex and today I'm going to be reviewing some X-Men figures from the Toybiz line 1992. It's the second series that they released, or the first half of the second series. I will do the other half in another video. I'm going to be doing all the series of X-Men figures that were released from Toybiz, as well as the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, the play sets, you name it, and of course I'll be giving you prices as well. As always, if you could, please hit a like, please subscribe, and please turn on notifications, and please share with your friends. Also, let me know what you think of the new gifts that I've made for this channel, because, well, I say me, Sarah made them so that I'd have my own special gifts to use on the channel, so that's pretty cool. I'm just going to start just straight off the bat. I did this video just recently on the talking Toybiz figures, and I forgot. Well, I say I forgot. I thought I had it, and then I thought, no, maybe I didn't have it. Maybe I'm just remembering it because I did have this one as a child. But it turns out when I started to sort all my figures out so that I could basically go, right, I'm going to do series 2, series 3, and so on and so forth. I found this one, and if I just hold this to the mic.
Die, Spider-Man! I want to eat your brain.
Venom
Die, Spider-Man!
is still working. I'll just hold him up close there. Same kind of articulation that you expect for these figures. There he is with the backpack. There's that white spider web I was saying about in the last video. I will put a link to this video up here. Price wise, this one's around 40 UK pounds, possibly 45. If you start paying over that, you're starting to overpay, I feel. And of course, anything 40 and under, say 35 and under, you're doing really well, because these are very difficult. And as I said in the last video, it's just a nice thing if they're still working after all these years, because this is a 30-year-old figure now, which is incredible. So with that said, let's get straight onto this review. I'm going to flip things around so that I can show you these figures and give you prices and do everything nice and in depth. Okay, so let's jump straight in with this one. This is the first figure from series 2 that was released. I say it's the first figure, it's part of the first. There was 13 figures released in series 2, and they released the first 6, and Wolverine edition 2 is in that first 6. Already done it on my Wolverine special, so if you haven't seen that, that's got all the Wolverines in from Toybiz. I've already done a video on that. And if you didn't see last week's, or say last week's, it was the beginning of the week, I did season 1 and the play sets and the vehicles. Now, series 2 Wolverine, his mask is fixed, his shoulders are able to move, you can turn his head. The claws are sort of springy, they sort of spring in and out. They've not got the little switch that pulls them up and in. The knees articulate, and that's pretty much it, but that's standard for the time. And he comes with this machine gun. In fact, I've got one loose, so we'll take a look at that. Here we go, here he is loose. So there's the articulation. You can turn his waist like so, turn his head, his arms. There's that machine gun. Yeah, not a bad looking Wolverine, to be fair. Price wise, well, loose, they're all over the place, so I won't try and give you a loose price. You could pick this up for probably £4, you could pay £12. It really depends on the day. Value wise, for one like this that's in the box, and I'll mention this now because I mentioned it with my Colossus. My Colossus is Tyco. This is Tyco, which was the distributor of Europe. There's no card. There's no card in the Colossus one, there's no card in this one. I did a bit of research, and basically the Tyco ones do not come with the collectible card that you used to get with all of these figures. So that's just something to something I didn't actually realise before, so that was kind of a cool learning curve. Yeah, value wise, I think this one's at about £25. I'm going to pop up some examples on the screen now of prices I found from some of the figures I did last week, so you can see them. As you can see, these are asking prices. I'm also going to put up some recently sold prices, and as you can see, they've sold for around 25, I think it's $25 but then there's the postage on top, and if you're ordering that into the UK, you'd pay the import tax. So those £25 or 25 Australian dollar figures end up becoming something like 60 UK pounds by the time you've got them over here, and that's each, because you have to pay those import taxes. So, you know, these things are becoming more expensive. This one in particular, though, I'm going to say in the UK, if you keep a lookout, keep an eye out, you should be able to pick them up for around 25 UK pounds. Anything over sort of 35, I'd say you're starting to overpay. I mean, it just depends on the day, really, because you can sometimes get them for a really good price, and sometimes they can be really expensive. So here you go. There is the Wolverine. Next up, we've got Mr. Sinister. This figure is really cool. His gimmick is there's a little button on the back of him that you push, and his chest would light up red. There are two variants to this figure, because there's a figure which is the actual cape inside is red, where instead of blue like this one is. I'll bring him in nice and close so you can have a really good look. I think he's really cool. He looks just like he did in the comics and in the animated TV series. It's a really menacing, just awesome character is Mr. Sinister. The goatee is another part, and the sort of black lips, that's another variant where you don't get that on the figure. You just literally get a white mouth. I don't know if it's a variant or whether it was basically they mispainted them, but I know I have seen them around. So he is from series 2, and he is 1992, so sorry, 1993. So this would have been released after the animated TV series. He would have so there he is. Price wise, 40 UK pounds. I'm going to say this is valued at the moment. Anything sort of over 45, 50, we're starting to go into the red, and of course anything under 40, 35 and below, we are doing really well, and we are in the green, so you'll be getting it for a really good price. Next up, we've got Forge. A really cool character. Basically, he's like an inventor. He can invent anything. There was variants to this character for sure. I remember there was, and I think it's something to do with this leg. This sort of I'll bring it right in so you can have a good look at that leg. Look how cool that is. I think not all of them were like this. Some of them were pretty much either just a different colour or something. There was definitely some sort of variant. I can't remember. His gimmick is you pull his arm down till it clicks. There's a button on the back. He does a quick draw. But he is a really cool looking figure. Again, the articulation similar to the Wolverine. Though looking at him, it doesn't no, you can't twist the waist like you can on the Wolverine. But all the articulation otherwise is the same. And he just looks badass. He was in the cartoons as well. Just as Mr. Sinister was. Mr. Sinister was in that bit where he kidnapped Jean, and then Cyclops dealt with him, and also in the Savage Lands and stuff. And he also was helping Apocalypse in that time sort of line story, which was really cool. Forge was making a time machine with Bishop? I think he was. I may be wrong. Let me know in the comments. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, and I haven't watched it. Again, he comes with a really cool card, which is awesome. Price wise for Forge is 40 UK pounds value wise. I mean, this is a really nice example. This one's from 1992. Anything over that, you're starting to overpay, and you know, anything you can get kind of off that and under, then you're doing very, very well. Next up, we've got Bobby Drake, Iceman. This is a really cool figure. At first, you kind of get that Invisible Woman from the Fantastic Four sort of look to him, where it's just, you know, translucent. But this figure here, his gimmick is if you put him in the freezer, he has icicles come on him and he changes colour. Now, there's lots of rumours about this figure, and I can't say whether they're true or not because I don't genuinely know. But with this figure, it is said that the paint used to create that effect of icicles is carcinogenic, so it was recalled. That was one rumour, and another rumour was that this figure, basically when you put him in the freezer, if it was left in the freezer too long, it would just break to bits. Again, something to do with the paint. If you look very carefully, you can see sort of like an opaque colour, which is that's paint, which is I think is where the icicles are supposed to form. So I don't know if it's true, but apparently they stopped making this particular one, and then they brought out this Iceman, which this one just happens to be a Tyco one, but this one here is 1993, and if you look, he's a completely different colour, almost like a blue. If I can get them side by side, there's that Iceman, there's that Iceman. One's blue and one is sort of completely translucent, so there could be some truth to some of this. They may have changed the design, and this one just says it's a freezable ice sled, which of course it's the same ice sled. Why you need to freeze it or what it would do, I don't know. So it looks like there could be some truth to some of this. Let me know in the comments if you know anything about it. Iceman, well, we've got two different prices for Iceman. If it's just the standard Iceman, this Iceman here, I'm going to say value wise he's around 40 UK pounds, obviously. So, you know, that's if you had to import it and everything else. I think, you know, between 30 and 40 pounds is about right. This one, however, is a lot rarer and a lot more difficult and a lot more sought after because of these rumours. These things often do make figures like this go up in price, and I'm going to say he's not a lot more expensive, but around the 50-60 pound mark to pick up one that supposedly was recalled or banned. So there's your two Iceman from this wave. Next we've got Sabertooth Series 1, and he's more representative of how he looked in the comics at the time. We did of course get a second edition Sabertooth which looked a lot more like his counterpart from the animated TV series. This one, he's got articulation in the knees and the elbow joints. His hip won't turn, but he does have this really cool feature of self-healing, and his head doesn't turn. His eyes glue up in the dark. Let's have a good look at him. He is a really cool fig, and I actually did find one today being sold for as low as £13. It was bidding, but no one had bid on it, so you know, he's not too badly priced. But price wise, I would say in general he's around £30 for this figure. So that was a really good deal. There you go. If you flick that, it's almost as if Wolverine's clawed him across the stomach, and then that's happened, and then if we flick it back, he's healed again. So a really cool fig. And not too expensive to get if you need him for your collection. This one's a bit scuffed up because these are the ones Alfie plays with, but I just thought it was really cool to be able to show you them, you know, out the box whenever I get a chance. So there you go, there is the Sabertooth. So there you are, that is the second series of X-Men Toybiz figures. It's only the first half. There is a second half to this video which I'll be bringing out next week, so you'll have the whole series 2. That was the first figures that they released the first part of the year back in 1992. I don't have all the variants because I'm still collecting, and if I try to collect all the variants as well, I would just never be able to finish the main figures that I need. Pro tip, make sure when you're buying online that you ask the person you're buying off, have you got any of this, have you got any more, because that's what I did today, and I'm so excited. I've got something for my collection I've been looking for years, which will come in handy later on when I'm doing reviews. So there you are. Make sure you hit a like. Charles Xavier is willing you to do so, and make sure you've turned on subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments what you think of these figures. Have you got them all? Are you still looking? And until next time, good luck searching for that toy gold.